Welcome, celestial seekers. Ever wonder why your life is a mess? Blame the stars. They love the drama.
Hey, we're doing something a little bit different. We are merging the psychology of personal finance with an astrological lens. We're going to uncover how specific personality traits can actually dictate the way we save, spend, and basically view our wealth. It is incredibly insightful, so let's just dive right in.
Think about it for a second. How do the zodiac signs actually deal with money? You know, we all have completely different relationships with our bank accounts. Some of us are super impulsive, while others are ultra frugal. Well, today, we are taking a really deep dive into the financial mindset of one specific sign to uncover what is honestly a brilliant, highly structured approach to wealth. We're looking at the Taurus.
So Taurians are famous for being incredibly practical, highly intelligent, and fiercely determined individuals. But here's the twist, and it's a big one. They are governed by Venus, which means they also possess this deep, artistic, and really sensory appreciation for life. They absolutely love luxury. They love comfort. So you have this totally unique blend of a grounded, practical thinker who simultaneously craves the finer things in life, and you kind of have to wonder, how does that tension actually play out in their wallets?
Let's look at Section 1, the need for security. Why Taurians hold on to their cash.
Okay, so to really grasp their financial philosophy, we have to recognize one simple equation. For a Taurus, money equals security. It is literally that straightforward. They like having money in hand. They like knowing the money is available. Why? Because knowing they have that cash readily available gives them this incredible psychological comfort. It means they are prepared for literally anything. Whether it's some crazy unforeseen emergency that pops up, a desire that might just suddenly strike them later, or even a long-term goal they're working towards. Having that financial buffer is their absolute ultimate safety net.
Moving on to Section 2, the art of stashing cash. Seeing is believing.
You'd probably think that once someone accumulates wealth, they'd want to immediately put it to work, right? But a Taurus totally subverts that expectation. You'd assume a practical person would start throwing money into a dozen new risky projects. Nope, because the more money they have, the safer they feel. Their primary intention is actually to keep the money exactly where it is. Whether they literally stuff it under a mattress, lock it in a box, invest it offshore, or just put it in a standard investment account, the medium doesn't really matter. The whole point, the true goal here, is that they just need to look at and know they have that specific amount of money. The physical, reliable presence of the cash is the whole shebang. That's what gives them peace of mind.
Which brings us to Section 3, spending on true value, the ultimate cost-benefit analysis.
So, despite hoarding all that cash just to feel secure, Taurians actually do love to spend. But there is a massive catch. When they finally decide to part with their hard-earned security blanket, it is only on something highly specific that passes a very strict cost-benefit test. Every Taurus has this specific area of life where they genuinely believe it's worth spending money. Just look at this contrast. You might see a Taurus wearing totally standard, cheap clothes, no luxury fashion brands anywhere. But that exact same person, they've tried all the absolute most expensive foods at every single high-end restaurant in town. They prioritize where their money goes strictly based on the value they get back.
See, they aren't just paying for the label. They are paying for the sensory experience. Going back to that Venus influence we talked about, they care deeply about the cost-benefit ratio. They will happily pay top dollar for a meal, but only because they know it uses special ingredients and it's prepared by expert chefs who truly know what they're doing. They are paying for an explosion of flavor. Bottom line, if they're going to spend, they demand a high-quality sensory experience in return.
And honestly, that leads perfectly to this highly relatable soundbite from our source material. Don't charge me a fortune for something crappy. I mean, it's just the ultimate Taurus golden rule of spending. The key for them is that the exchange has to be perfectly fair. If they are going to hand over a massive chunk of their security, their money, they absolutely must receive something that is genuinely worth it in return. They've done the math. They know the true value of things.
Let's look at Section 4, luxury without the flash. Comfort for themselves, not for others. There is a huge gap between how society usually views wealth and how a Taurus views it. Taurians absolutely love luxury, for sure, but they do not like to show off. So why do they buy luxury items? Strictly for themselves, just because they personally enjoy it. They will invest really heavily in private comforts behind closed doors. Think about, a very expensive, high-quality bed, or a beautifully upgraded luxurious shower, or incredibly comfortable clothes just for lounging around the house. These are investments that make their own daily lives vastly more comfortable. They have absolutely zero desire to prove to anyone else that they have money. It's entirely about internal comfort, no external validation required.
Now, because they are so insanely tuned into this fair exchange of value, the source actually gives us this fantastic practical playbook. And hey, even if you aren't a Taurus, you can totally use their mindset to your advantage. If you want to know if you're overpaying for something, just use your Taurus friends as a financial sounding board. Step 1. Tell them the exact price you're being charged. Step 2. Ask them what they think about it. And step 3, which is definitely the most important, listen to them. Seriously, if a Taurus tells you something is too expensive, you need to listen, because it probably is. They have already done the mental math on what you're actually getting in return.
But of course, every mindset has its downside. Section 5. The Taurus Trap. Overworking. The fatal flaw of the determined. Because their need for security is just so intense, and their desire to maintain that comfortable lifestyle is so incredibly strong, it can unfortunately lead them down a pretty difficult path. Taurians are exceptionally loyal and determined, but this extreme drive means they are super prone to pushing their physical limits entirely too hard. They will literally overwork themselves, sacrificing their day-to-day well-being just to ensure that their financial safety net and that cozy lifestyle remain perfectly intact.
That's all for now. And hey, if you choose not to subscribe, I won't take it personally. I'll just check my charts and assume Saturn is probably in a challenging position for you right now.